Hello everyone, welcome back to the channel React to Next. And in today's video, we will create a sign-up form. For designing purpose, we will use Tailwind CSS. We will also use two additional libraries there, that is Formik and Yup, to manage the form and the validation. So let's continue by creating this component. So let's go to the VS Code and start creating this component. Now I am on the VS Code and here I will create a sign-up form component. Let's create a file inside the components folder. Signup form.jsx and then generate the basic component code, and inside this we will write the code for the form. So let's start our application first. pnpm run dev. Open this inside the browser. So now we have an empty page. Importing the sign-up form inside the app component and keep the editor in the left side and the browser in the right side. Now you can see we don't have anything inside on the screen. Inside the sign up form, I am adding a heading. Now you can see here is the heading. Let's add few classes. Font bold. Now you can see the text is bold. For the form, I will add few classes. Border, max width MD, which is 448 pixel, padding 5 from all the sides, and margin from left and right auto, rounded corners, drop shadow or just shadow MD. So it looks like this. After the heading, I am adding some form fields. So let's add class margin bottom 4, and inside this I will add label. First one is the email and input, that is going to be ID, email, name, email, and the type also the email. For the label, I will convert it into the block, and font size normal. Okay. Now here I can add the classes for the input. Border, block, padding 2, and you can also add a placeholder here, or also we can add 1 pixel margin from the top. Okay, and the width full. Similarly, you can create other fields. So I am creating here 2 more fields. One for the password, the ID, name, and type all are the same, and then the confirm password. Confirm password. So now we have 3 fields. email, password and confirm password. After this, I will add a button. For the button, I will remove the label here. Instead of this, I will use button type submit, and inside this I will use the tag sign up. Okay, now here we can add some classes, like if you want to take the background color as the blue, and then we can add the color. Now you can see the color is blue here, and the text should be white, text white. And then we can add the paddings px4 and y2. Now it looks like this. We can also add the rounded corners on the button and the input field. So for this, I will use the class rounded on the input field and the buttons. Now you can see the input are little rounded. Okay, now we have all input fields rounded and the button is also rounded. Let's put some margin below the heading as well. And now this is the basic form. Let me replace the div with the form. I think I should do this in the beginning, but now we can do this in the end, because now we are going to write the logic and we are going to submit the form. So now I have this form. If I type something here, then we can submit this by clicking on the submit button. So for this, I'm going to use two libraries. One is the Formik and second one is Yup. So let's explore something about the Formik and Yup. So open the browser and inside the browser search for the Formik. You will find the first URL, this one. Click on it and inside this you will find this Formik documentation, and in the documentation click on the doc, and here you will find this documentation. In this documentation you will find the command to install the Formik. Copy this and paste it inside the terminal. For me, I am using pnpm. So inside my project directory, I will write pnpm install Formik. Next one, we have to use the yup. Press Ctrl plus K on the documentation and you will find something. If because I have already searched for this, so if you will search for yup, you will get this schema validation with yup. On this documentation, copy the command to install this pnpm install yup. So this will install pnpm also, and it will install. So it will install the yup as well and the well. Now what we have to do is we have to perform the validation and the form submission. So if you will see in the example, there is already example given for the sign up form, and you can also see there this is some way now we can use the hook useFormik. We can set the initial values for the form. We can add the form schema, validation form schema, and then we can get all the values inside the submission. And what else we have to do is on submit we have to use this form that we are storing inside this with that is the response for the useFormik. And also we can make the changes in the values from the on change and on blur. Also we can show the errors with this, in this way, like if somebody touched on the field or there is an error, it will show the error. This is the how we can implement this thing in our application. So what we have to do is we have to copy these two lines into our application, or you can keep working on the code, then it will import them automatically. So now what else I have to do is I will copy this code, the Formik form validation code from there, and here you can see we have the Formik, we have the use. Instead of this name, I will use the email and the password, confirm password. Okay, so I will use the password and confirm password. So because this is something what I am using on my site. Now I have removed everything from the validation scheme. And now we are going to perform the validation on the email, password and the confirm password field. So for this, I have noted down the things like what we have to perform. First of all, we will check the email is correct or not. Then we perform the validation on the password field, and the password field must have minimum 8 characters. It should contain both the alphanumeric alphabets like A to Z in the small and the capital letters. Also, it must have the numbers. So this is what we are going to perform on the password. And then in the confirm password field, we will match if the password is matching with the password field. So let's start by implementing this schema and the validation schema. So for this, the first of all, we will perform this on the email. If the yup dot string dot email, then in that case we will show the message, please correct the your email. So this will check if the email is correct or not. Also we will perform the check of the required field, because this is the required field. In case there is no email address given, then we will show the message, please, or we can say email is required. Now we have to perform the validation on the password. If yup string, and here we will see like we have to see the limit of password should have minimum 8 characters. So for this we will use minimum limit and this message. So minimum 8 character, and then we will pass the message here. So we will have the message, the password should have minimum 8 characters. And if this is the required field, then we can say here the password is required field. Okay, now we also have to perform two more validations here. It should have the alphabets. So for this I will use the method match. Here matches, we have this one. So here the first one is the regular expression and the second one is the message. Similarly, we will perform one more validation, which is the digit based, the numeric number based. So for this I will use the password must contain the numbers. So now it will have three validations for the password. It should have minimum 8 characters. It must have the alphabets. It must have the numbers. Now the final one, which is on the confirm password colon yup dot string, and here if the field is required we can simply add confirm password is required. And now here we have to perform the check like 1.1 of yup dot reference the name of the field password comma null. Sorry, outside this the comma null, and in the second one will be the message. So this is will be the password must match. Now we can remove the other things, and now we have the validations here. And now we can take this schema outside with this, and we can store this inside a variable outside the component const form or we can say sign up form where schema schema sign up form schema, and now we have the separate form schema, and then we can use this variable inside this. So this is how we create a sign up form schema. And now what we have is we have the variable here. We will use this inside the form on submit. We will use the Formik dot handle submit. So this is something the method we have inside from the Formik. If you will search about the Formik, you will get it like the form handle submit. So we have this method inside the Formik. Also we have few more methods like on change, on blur. These are the methods from the Formik itself. So I am using the same. For this, if I have to add the things on the input field, then what I will do, like I will perform things on change. On change, I will get the things from the Formik itself. A Formik dot handle change. So this is the method from the Formik. If I will search about this on the Formik, you will get the information. This is the submit, this is the blur, and if we are searching for this, you can see we have the change, we have the on blur, we have the value. So we can keep all the things from here, just copy and paste it here. And instead of props, I will just use this kind of thing. So let me just copy change here on blur, and here I will handle blur, and this one is the last one. So this is the value, and it will also from the Formik dot values dot name, sorry, email. So this is where we will get the email. Now what else I have to do here? I will perform the same thing with all the three fields and will change the name, password, and confirm password. So this is how we have implemented the on change, on blur on the input fields. Now we have to show the error message. After the input field, we can add one more element, like there is some error. So we can show the error here from the Formik itself. Like if there is related to the email, we can say the Formik dot error dot email. If there is an error from the email, then it will display here. Also we can add some conditions here, like if Formik dot touched dot email, that means if email field is touched, if somebody open that field or typing something on this or just click on it, then it will work. If there is an error inside the Formik dot errors dot email, in that case we will show this error. So let me correct it here, cut this from here and this paste it. And also, so this will, if there is an error, it will show like yeah, here is a dot. Okay, now it will show an error. We can add some classes here to make it like error. So it will be like text or text, yeah, text grad 500 and text sm for the small text. Let's check inside the browser. So now we have this form. Click on the submit. Now if you will see, when we submit the form, we are getting the error message here. So what we have else we have to do here is like we can perform the same error message on all the two fields, all the other fields. Like for the password, we will change it to the password, which is the field name. And from the confirm password, we will use it confirm password. and here also the confirmed password. Now we also have to check the message. It is because currently it is showing the email is required for all this field. I think this is because we just copied and pasted, and now we have changed it, and we have to change it here also in the message, and this. Now we have the two things here. Email is required, password is required, and confirm password is required. So let's refresh this page and submit it again. Now it shows all these fields. When we type something on this, you can see it is saying please correct your email. Also, you will see if I type the correct email, it does not show any error message. Same for the password. If we type something on this, it will say to validate or make a correct password. Like if I write something in the correct form, the password is too short, it should be maximum 8 character, right? So that's why it is showing create the password correctly. TEST@123. Now it says the password is correct. Let's type something else in this. Now it will say again the password must match. Let's type the correct password, test@123. Now you can see this is not showing any error and it is submitting the data, and the response is showing in the alert. So this is something what we did. Now we can do one more thing. We can add one more method here, handle const handle form submission. So this is where we will receive all the values from the form, and instead of this alert here we will call that one, handle form submission, and it will have all the values. And now inside this alert we can submit this, and now we can see here we have same thing. Now I can replace all this thing with console if you want, then console.log form data and plus values, or you can separate it with a comma values. Now if you click on the inspect console and submit the form, you will see all the data inside the console form. This is how we created a sign up form in the React.js with the use of Tailwind CSS, Formik, and the Yup validation library. I hope you like this video. Please don't forget to subscribe to the channel for this kind of videos. Thank you.